welcome to Adobe live streaming from Adobe San Francisco studio. How are you guys doing today? I have a wonderful graphic designer, Veronica, with me today.
Hi guys, good to see you guys again, even though
Yes.
I can't actually see you, but
Right.
thanks for joining.
I'm Sherry. This is my first time live streaming. Yes, hosting live streaming on Adobe Live, and I'm on the same team as Rufus and Michael Chase. Yes, but mainly in charge of community in Tokyo. I flew in a couple days ago, and still nicely jet lagged, but so chat be easy on me with my Japanese accent. Where are you guys from? Hi everyone.
Ooh, I got some Kiwis. Hey.
Oh, New Zealand.
It's
Yeah.
so early for you guys.
What time is it over there?
Very early.
Early morning.
Early morning.
Hello from La La Land. Oh, cool. Where are you guys all from? Yeah, there's a lag, right? Time lag. So we are focusing on this week. We are focusing on graphic design for 3 days. Yesterday was day 1 and today is day 2.
Yes.
So, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure.
Maybe
Hopefully
do that
there's
real
some
quick.
of you guys that were joining us from yesterday. I'm Veronica. Very nice to meet you guys, and there's a lot of people from around the world.
Wow.
So I'm very excited to be
Italy,
to be all
Africa,
around the
South
world.
Africa, wow, Dominican Republic,
That's awesome.
Chile.
Oh my gosh. 6
Dallas,
a.m. in
Texas.
Auckland. There you go. There's some
Oh,
committed early riser
wow.
designers.
Good morning,
That's awesome.
Vietnam.
So yesterday a little bit about myself, if you guys are kind of new
Right,
to the
yeah, let's
stream.
do that.
So I'm Veronica. I am originally from New Zealand. I actually, used to live in Auckland. I see another Aucklander down there, which is awesome. And I now live in San Diego. So anyone from SD, shout out. I'd love to hear from you. And I flew up to San Francisco on Monday night.
Monday night, yes.
And then we worked on a branding project yesterday. So we are going to continue with kind of the brand that we established, and I'll walk you guys through kind of what we did, our brief, and kind of how we got to where we are. And today, I guess we'll be working on a few kind of application rollouts for the brand, just so you guys can get an understanding of how you guys can execute a identity design and see it through kind of to different ways and different media. So I'm really excited to be here.
Cool. Yeah, so and then this week we're throwing a contest. So postcard design contest. So there's a contest tab when you go to the adobelive.com, and there's a button right there. So apply for it. Not apply. Actually, you can download it. It's a Illustrator file, right? So you can customize it with your own brand and then submit with your Twitter account using hashtag of Adobe Live.
I want to see some designs.
Yeah. All right. So let's jump into where you are.
Cool. So I'm going to show you kind of where it all began. We started with a brief, and so this is a brief I kind of made up.
It's an imaginary client.
Exactly. Well, this is typically a brief that I usually receive, or that people usually receive from clients daily. So a lot of you can relate to it, and I kind of just went through how I started thinking about even where to start, because when you get a brief, you're like, wow, there's so many possibilities, and it gets kind of intimidating. So actually finding a good starting point and knowing how to showcase and even start thinking about where to begin is actually one of the hardest parts. It's like they said, the hardest part is seeing a blank page, because there's nothing on it, and there's all these possibilities. So sometimes it gets pretty overwhelming.
That's the fun part.
That is the fun part. That's the fun part about being a designer and being a creative. So we're very lucky to get to do it for a living. So here's the brief. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see what's going on.
Yep, we're doing the recall of yesterday.
Yes.
And thank you for liking my accent.
I like her accent too. So the brief is we're redesigning, or actually designing, a brand for a luxury boutique design kind of residence for Loft. So Loft kind of curates a range of different Airbnb style homes around the world, and it's kind of targeting these creatives who want to have like an inspirational getaway. If you're like
hipsters.
If you're like me, you kind of like to kind of recharge, especially if you're a designer. It's just nice to get away and find some inspiration, be immersed in different cultures, different experiences, eat different food. I always find that very, very inspiring. So I thought this brief was kind of a nice thing to do on Adobe Live. So hopefully you guys are enjoying it. So this is the brief. We kind of get the main name. We get who the audience is. So we know that there are creatives aged 22 to 40. So in the millennial area. And so they really want to find authentic experiences. They want to go and travel and really see the world in a non-tourist or tourist trap way.
Do you usually get that specific age range?
Yes. Well, typically we try to understand who their current audience is if they're an existing brand. And usually they either are trying to attract a different type of audience, or they're trying to retain that audience and really resonate with them a little bit better.
Right.
So it, like I said yesterday, it's very, very, very important to understand your audience. And it's nice that I am in this audience range, so I'm able to kind of best design this brief. So definitely understanding your audience is key, especially if you are in a branding project or really any project. We're designers, we're essentially problem solvers, so it's nice to be able to understand their mindset, how they think, what they like, what their motivations are, and really approach this from a strategic standpoint, because that's going to make your project a lot more successful.
Sounds good.
So that's kind of the intro to the brief. Together we kind of brainstormed some attributes of the brand. And by attributes, I was talking about think of your brand as a person. What are their qualities? So in this case, the person is authentic. So they really are, I guess, relatable and original, and they stand for their own point of view. They're empathetic, so they understand travelers, needs, and they understand the offering of trying to find experiences that are a little more unique, I guess, than the typical. And then they're very lively and energetic. So we want something that isn't, I guess, like static. We want something that has some kind of dynamism. Dynamism? Yeah.
Okay.
Some movement.
You asked the wrong person.
So that's where we started. I put together a rough mood board of kind of styles and where I see this going. Just because it's kind of in this luxury or boutique creative atmosphere, I felt like creating something a little bit more elevated, a little bit more premium feeling. So
yeah, I can see that.
You can see that really coming through, very clean, but still has a strong kind of brand personality. And so we started concepting. So we looked at a range of fonts, and
so
we started.
You're doing the exploration.
Yes, exactly.
Is that the right word?
Yeah, exploration. Conceptual exploration. And so we started looking into the different types of fonts that we could use, playing around with spacing, even thinking about different ways of arranging the letters.
Which typeface did you use?
So someone recommended Bodoni, and
Of
I
course,
thought
classic.
very, very classic. And I actually really enjoyed working with Bodoni because it has these, again, very classic, and those thin hairlines are really great. And it's going to juxtapose nicely with some of our layouts and things that we'll explore today and tomorrow. So from there, we kind of distilled maybe a few color palettes that we could use, as well as kind of where we kind of see this going. So this is where we got to, and then I moved into Illustrator to actually start.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Can you go in?
Sure.
Go back to the Photoshop. So those color palettes, you got those colors from mood boards. Is that correct? Okay. Is that how you do all the time?
Typically, yeah. I actually am really inspired by things that that I relate the brand too. So I know there's some great tools like Adobe Cooler out there, so you can actually get like a starting point for the colors. But what I find most inspiring is seeing how these colors kind of work together in an environment. And then you can get like a range of different tones and hues from one image. So it's really great. And I also think as a brand, it's really important to keep your color palette quite minimal. It's unless your brand is very pop art and very psychedelic. It's always good to restrain yourself from color and make sure that you're using color in a way that communicates the message appropriately, and you're not kind of using color for the sake of using color. Unless that's your experimental, because
in this case, we want to make it timeless, right? We
want
to make the color palette look timeless. Okay.
So we went with something a little bit more like still quite bold. You'll see how I evolved that in my next artboard. But from here, we went into Illustrator, and we started playing around with the letters, playing around forms, and like breaking that up. And then here is kind of where we got to. I started playing around with some kerning, some tracking of the letters, figuring out different ways of orienting the letters. I think it's kind of a nice way to think about a brand in a way that isn't so static, because I think what's awesome is the fact that this has the ability to be a little bit dynamic, and that definitely relates to the brand ideals. So the idea of the loft or being a creative and traveling, you're always on the move, you're always trying to experiment and discover new things, and that kind of is resonating well with an almost flexible or a dynamic identity. So
I feel the air in between.
Yeah, exactly. We want it to be spacious.
Open, yes. Spacious.
So yeah, again, that lofts, you think very high ceilings and all that good stuff. So that's where we got to. And so here I've kind of expanded all the letters, and every time I move from here to Photoshop or InDesign, they are now smart objects. So I'm able to edit them in Illustrator and then move to my two other programs really, really easily. And if I make small changes, they all update, which is so great. So I know a lot of you guys were like, why are you designing in Photoshop? I actually use Photoshop just to kind of collate all my ideas, and then I move into Illustrator to do some of the vector stuff, and then I move back to Photoshop or InDesign depending on the type of project.
All the information is in Photoshop.
Well, yes, for this project, yes.
Okay.
I typically like to use Photoshop because I feel like I have a lot more flexibility in terms of accessing blending modes and colors more quickly. Maybe that's just my workflow, but everyone has their own kind of style.
Right, so that's her workflow.
That's my process. So with that, I went on a little bit from yesterday and started thinking about some supporting copy. So here I've kind of explored some different headlines, sub-headlines. Yeah, I mean, some quick words. If you guys have any ideas for copy, please
chat, help us out.
Send them through. But here, what we typically refer this to is a lockup, so a text lockup. And so we're able to understand what our kind of main headline font would be, some supporting text, and what it would look like in more of a body style copy, as well as some of these metadata elements. So from there, I went in a little bit and started thinking about how this could kind of roll out. So here we have, I guess, the identity system mood board. So taking all the elements that were kind of thought about for the logo and the color palette, and really thinking about how these can transition into the development of a brand. So on the left side, we have kind of just the name. I started adding like a supporting element underneath for a little bit more context. This could say whatever, but I think creative resonance was the right word at the time. As you can see, there's these O's that we edited a little bit in Illustrator, just gave them a little bit more space between those two, and we really wanted to showcase that it was more of a flexible identity in the sense that we could be quite creative with the O's. And you'll notice underneath it, that we actually got quite creative with that, and I'll touch on that in a second.
Yeah, look at that.
So on the top right, we are showcasing another way of presenting the logo. And so I think on the left, because it's kind of the main, very simplified version, this would probably be the logo that you would use on majority of the primary collateral. And then you could get into some of this stuff for more of the I guess like the back of a business card, or on your website, perhaps the logo loads in different times and different speeds, so that way you know that it has this feeling of like loftiness and being in this creative space. And then
Jeannie is loving the color palette.
Oh, awesome.
Feels relaxing, yeah.
That's what I was going for. You really want to go here as more of an inspirational break. And so moving down, we've kind of got these O's, and then what we've done is actually applied a kind of filter to it. I'm using a Displace Filter. And so what it does, it has this kind of a little bit of motion, or it kind of adds this like, I guess like distortion to it. And it makes it feel like it's a little bit hand done. So this kind of aligns with the idea of like adding a little bit of personality and like making it a little bit more interesting. And so I've overlaid some images on top of this to make it.
What kind of image is that? What's underneath?
This is a just an image of a.
I see. You just use the color of the sky. Oh,
Brazil.
okay.
Yeah. So what I've done is I've actually taken an image, placed a clipping mask on top of it, and then put that displaced O with another clipping mask on top of that, and then kind of found where I want that color palette to live against. So I've done that for a different range of environments. So here we have the sky, the city, the inside, and the water. So just kind of giving an idea of like what the feel of the brand is, in that sense. Here we are just exploring some kind of type lockups, and then maybe some potential photography.
Angela is asking, why has this not been designed in InDesign?
So that's a great question. So I'm using Photoshop because this is more of a mood board, and this isn't our final piece yet.
Right.
Yeah. So this is kind of just collating all of your ideas for the start of the brand, I guess. And then beneath that, we started to define some color palettes. So here we've assigned this to be more of the dark blue, got a teal, a peach, a light gray, and a black.
I like the color palette. Yeah, peach.
So yeah, it gives it a little bit more freshness, I guess.
Yes.
To the more sophisticated.
At the same time.
Yeah. Cool. So from there, I think we're gonna start probably. So it's almost kind of like a Behance project, I guess. So you kind of have like your identity system and then just some ideas. So now we're probably going to start making some posters for this. Just a range of brand posters for kind of advertising or just showcasing the brand a little bit. And then we might move into doing some packaging or something, maybe if we have time today. So
yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Let's dive into poster then.
Yeah. So I think I'm going to move into InDesign for this.
There you go.
Yeah. So these are going to be more kind of perhaps like a poster series that you might see on like the bills on the street, or around. These even could live on the web. So let's see. So I am going to start a new file. I am going to do this probably at letter size. I know this is probably not going to be printed, so I'm going to add in a bleed anyway. It's really nice just to have that, especially if you're trying to bleed your images right to the border, so that print's a little oversized, and then they're able to trim it with the bleed marks and the crop marks. I typically use 12 columns, depending on how much copy or how much space I require for my poster. 12 gives you a nice flexibility because it's a divisible number by 6 and 4 and 2, and it keeps things quite even, so that's kind of what I like to do. I'm using millimeters right now, so a lot of the US viewers are like, what is millimeters? But
yeah, I use millimeters too.
So I also kind of...
America is the only place where you use inches?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's the American way of measuring.
But you work in San Diego, right?
I do.
Still use millimeters?
I transition to both. It's kind of it's still learning how to flip between Fahrenheit and Celsius too.
Exactly. Same here.
It's a little bit confusing. Okay, so we have.
I'm from Germany.
Oh, actually, I will. Take out facing pages because we probably only want one. Awesome. So here I am probably just gonna do a whole different lot of posters kind of stacked underneath each other in my one InDesign document. Let's save that for now. Yes, so someone asking if I'm using pixels as well as millimeters. I do like to use pixels too because it's just so much easier. And you can actually change that through going to your preferences and going into pixels or points. And that way you get everything to be where you kind of know the general graphic design way of measurement. So it's really fun. Okay, so I'm going to refer back to my mood board in Photoshop. And so here I'm going to start kind of playing around with different compositions. I probably got a few sketches, just kind of ideas for layout.
Oh. Hi from St. Martin, London, Germany again. I wish I could speak those languages. Pixel probably not useful when you do print object. Pixels are probably not useful when you do a print object.
Right, yeah, because you're actually printing this, but I think for this we're not going to be printing, so that's definitely very true.
We could we? Okay.
Oh, we could print.
Print.
We could print, yeah. I will look. There is a printer somewhere. I just need to find it. But
Okay.
I will bring it here.
Okay, printer?
Tomorrow we'll have a printer.
Okay.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Cool. So usually set your resolution to 300 because
Pakistan.
it's nice and it's got the highest resolution. So okay, awesome. So
You want to show your sketch? Can we show our sketches? Oh, yeah.
oh yeah, they're really rough.
Oh, why not? Okay, go this way.
Yeah. So. Okay.
Okay, so super rough. I kind of just like sketching really quickly and just figuring out different types of composition. I usually just do lines for seeing where type would fit, and then just thinking about how I can start bringing things to life in terms of layering. So these are just very, very high level, and it's also nice to get kind of ideas on paper. You kind of just feel like nothing is so set in stone, and that it's like just this beginning of something great. So
Okay.
cool. Okay, so let's go into. I'm using what it. Just want to make sure I'm using the same.
By the way, chat, on Creative Cloud YouTube channel, I'm gonna just announce this one. We have almost 200,000 subscribers there, and if we can reach 200,000 subscribers within our 3 live streaming days until Thursday, I think, there is a prize we're gonna give away. Actually, Michael is gonna give away. Which is a ticket to Adobe Max. Adobe Max is one of the biggest creative conference, and we had it in San Diego last year. You weren't there. And then this year it's gonna be in Las Vegas. So call your friends, call your family, call your grandparents to subscribe our channel, YouTube channel. And then also feel free to share what you're working on. If you want to get feedback from Veronica, we're happy to discover your talent. How far are we from 200K?
It's definitely doable. If they share the URL, we're missing
Almost
1,300 people. So
Oh,
it's definitely
1,300. Okay. We can make it.
doable. Yeah.
And then for the postcard contest, you can win 1 year of Creative Cloud subscription and also Adobe stock credit. Yep, we can definitely make it. Oh, Jishan. His grandparents don't have. Yes, of course. YouTube account. Thank you for trying. Oh, look at that. What are you doing now?
So what I'm doing is I'm just going to start experimenting. I usually just kind of like to whip these out really quick and then decide which ones I want to keep. So what I'm doing is kind of clipping out some of the top of the house. That way I can start overlapping some of the letters, so that way it feels like it maybe is layered within the image, or it just has this kind of like layered feel.
I see.
So yeah, so I'm just...
Where did you get these photos? That looks pretty.
These are just kind of photos that I've started.
Not from Adobe stock.
Yeah, but I will be using Adobe stock for probably this packaging one.
Oh, cool.
Find something on there, which is some good stuff. So,
Alexander is saying you can import the logo as a shape, so it's easier to manipulate.
yeah, I mean, once you bring anything from Illustrator, you have the option to do smart objects, shapes, even like a raster file. I'm keeping it as a vector smart object because I'm kind of keeping the integrity of the logo for this exercise. But yeah, that's a really good point if you want to start kind of doing some cool things, maybe even using perspective or things of that too. So
Kim is impressed with your mouse work.
oh. It's even harder on a trackpad. I don't know why I was using a trackpad yesterday. So I'm gonna
You use tablet?
I sometimes I just
You
I
just
like
got
the
used to
mouse.
it.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, I'm able to do it. So I started typing tablet. So nope. Sorry, I didn't account for the bleed, but we're probably not gonna need it anyway. I don't know if you guys have a bleed on your printer or not.
Do we? We should.
So this is
Oh, there are a lot of people who use mouse too. Oh, look at that.
awesome. Yeah, I mean,
Mouse mostly.
whatever, whatever you guys feel most comfortable, I'm all about. Honestly,
Both.
I think it's the one that you feel most comfortable and that one that makes you work most efficiently. So, whatever you guys do. So whenever I'm working in design, I try to make sure I'm kind of set to high quality display if I'm using images too, just to make sure that
High quality.
Yeah.
High quality display. Okay.
sometimes it renders a little bit low quality, so you just want to make sure that everything is functioning there. So for this, we're gonna kind of add some, like, I guess, supporting text to it, and
Norman uses his hands. Okay.
okay. So what I've done is actually added in some of my
Brain, yes. Sorry. Go ahead. I'm just trying to read everything here. I need to have a better vision to pull up with all the comments here. Mostly tablet. Sometimes mouse comes in handy, yes.
So I'm trying to
Yes, we're designing poster for this brand called Loft, Imaginary Client. It's a boutique hotel for the hipsters. Yes.
So kind of the main headline copy or the typeface I'm using is Canella, and I didn't want to use Bodoni because I felt like if we use something too similar to the typeface, it may feel like too much. So I'm using something that has a little bit more, it feels a little bit more kind of, I want to say a little bit more deco vintage, but I think it's just the way that the hairlines and the thicker lines are. I don't know if you guys have any more insight to that, but I like it, and I think it has
10 points.
somewhat modern appeal to it.
Is there any rules that you follow when you pick all the typefaces you mix on one design within the design?
Yeah, I mean, I typically want to make sure that, right, yeah. So if I'm using a serif for the headlines, usually I use a sans serif for the body copy, just so there's some balance to it. And it really depends on the brand too. I mean, I love to work with serifs, and I don't get to as much in my job. So
I see. That's what
every chance I
right.
get, I mean, I love serifs. So
why is that? Why don't you get to use serif?
we work with a lot of clients, and I think they mostly prefer that more, I guess, like more humanistic or more modern approach to their brands, which is, I love sans serifs too, but every chance I get, I kind of pick one.
Go with it, yeah.
So I'm using Canella here, and then I'm using Salic for some body copy, so it feels a little bit more neutral, and it kind of can transition to all of these different things. So here we're going to maybe add some kind of like supporting copy. So I'm gonna you guys have any ideas for
Yeah, someone is saying that you follow a rule when you set different types. Like, I love the contrast between the types, right? Contrast is important.
yes, it kind of gives some nice like visual balance to it too, just so like things aren't so monotonous looking. So I'm gonna go back here. Let's copy some of this.
Everyone seems to be hungry here. Is that you, Michael? Hungry man?
So I haven't set a baseline grid here because I'm not doing kind of like heavy editorial stuff, but it's kind of nice to make sure that you're following some kind of grid system so everything kind of feels coherent.
they split it. Oh, looks like a parenthesis. Some people said that.
I kind of like that idea because
Yeah.
it's almost like
Holding
the
space.
right, the space. It kind of reflects the idea of creating this space and these like transitory spaces. That
Yeah.
the loft idea
Good way
kind
to put it.
of. Yeah.
And also in French, there is an expression which is, it would be like take a parenthesis, which would be take vacation.
Oh, really?
Oh.
Or take a break. Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, take a parenthesis means take a break in French.
That's awesome.
We learned something new. And Guy said, don't you miss a multi-monitor setup right now, Veronica?
Yes, I do. I actually have 3 screens at work.
Yes, and
So-
you only have small one.
Now I have a small.
One. Desktop. No, not even desktop, laptop.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. Gotta be able to blend wherever you are, wherever. So I'm gonna take this and I can just adjust this.
Oh, Adrian is watching this at work. Okay, nice. Close the paragraph.
I probably wanna. So I'm gonna design on the fly and play around a little bit because I want to make sure that it's.
Welcome back, Simon. Cool.
Oh.
A lot of people watching at work. So for those of you who just came in, this week we're throwing a contest, postcard design contest. So there's a contest tab. When you go to the adobelive.com, you can download a template from there. It's an Illustrator file, and then you can create your own postcard and share it with your Twitter account with the hashtag of one word, Adobe Live. All the instructions in it. It's super simple. And then you have chance to win 1 year of Creative Cloud subscription and an Adobe Stock credit. So use this opportunity. Okay, so there's a question. How much time it takes to learn graphic design for complete beginner? What would you say?
I would say I'm still learning, and I work in an agency, so I don't think your learning ever stops, especially if you do it as your career. And I think that's so important because then it wouldn't be fun or exciting anymore.
Right.
If you're very interested in kind of starting to learn graphic design, I would get as much information as you can, kind of read everything, watch all the videos and all the tutorials on Adobe, and there's also really some good resources online too. And then start consuming all different types of design, not just graphic design, but art, architecture, photography, because I feel like that really makes you understand like a world wide creative view, which is really, really important. And then keep practicing. Find mentors. Mentors are great because you're able to work quickly and get feedback on the fly, friends you trust, and then get on Behance. So,
you want to show your Behance page to everyone?
yeah, we showed it yesterday. We can...
Maybe I'll... Are you following a lot of people on the Behance?
there are some great designers on Behance. So Behance is great. And like, start creating a portfolio, put it online.
Show you, just in case. Show you. If you want to show your front.
Okay.
Guest. Host is you. So you click here. Host.
Okay.
That's your screen.
Sounds good.
Okay.
I'm gonna have pizza.
Yeah. Then we put them in the studio.
Sure. So you're playing with the tagline.
I am. So if you guys have any more quotes or sayings, please feel free.
Yes. Help us out.
This is just something I just wrote really quick, but
So I'm gonna show everyone your Behance page here. So this is her page. Let's check. Is there your favorite project? Like specific one that you want me to show
my
to
favorite.
everyone?
Oh, it's in Japanese.
Oh, it is
cool.
in Japanese.
That's awesome. My favorite one is
I haven't
probably
even logged in yet. Okay, go ahead.
probably my Beauty Dakota project. So I now work in the
This one?
Yeah. So I now work in the interactive field. So I do a lot of web
BB
design.
Dakota.
Yeah, and
That's
so
the name of the brand.
it is. They have some great clothing. So if any girls in the audience are looking for some pieces, definitely check out BB Dakota.
Why not?
And if you go onto their website too, you can see.
Oh, you're in the video too.
I am the
Cool.
video, and the video is pretty cool. It kind of goes through our process. So if any of you are interested to learn more about kind of the interactive process on how we create websites and start concepting the strategy behind it, it's pretty cool. And then here, so what's really interesting is that I have an affinity to print. I love it. And what we're trying to do in the web field is actually translate those editorial designs into the web space, which is really fun because if you think about all of the fundamental things of design, like the grid and typography and imagery, all of that is essential to web. So here we're actually translating that over and then thinking about how that scales between mobile and tablet and all these different devices. So it's very rewarding. Takes some good time, but they have some really cool things going on too.
Did you work on their logo too, or?
No, that was like their brand already. So
So for this one, you worked on the website.
Yeah. And like the video kind of explains.
Right.
I talk a lot about it in the video, so you can watch it and
check it
see
out.
me talk about it. But yeah, it's fun.
Marija. Oh, I saw this before. It's awesome.
Thank you. It's been recognized for a few different e-commerce and website awards. So.
And then you got InDesign recognition too. Is it InDesign?
Interactive.
Interactive, yes. Interactive recognition.
We had a great team on
Behance
it.
page.
there was an amazing developer.
Oh, thank you for sharing. We have space. Anything else you want me to share? What about this Auckland City editorial spread?
Sure. I mean, that
Looks
was more of an editorial thing. I actually made a custom font for that.
Ooh,
So,
nice. Cut out.
Yeah.
You designed the shadow.
Yeah. So I had a lot of fun with playing with the laser cutter. That was quite interesting. But there's something about positive negative space that's really intriguing to me. And so I wanted to explore that a little bit and see what I could do to make that in a tangible way. So that was
Wow, I like it.
fun.
Designed for annual SPD, Student Design Competition.
Yes, that was when I was a student years ago. I
So
got
you won the
featured.
award. Oh, okay.
So-
Oh, great.
I think that's still going on. You guys should look into entering it.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back to your screen.
So, yeah, there's a lot of windows. So here I was just kind of playing around with something rough, very, I guess, like, scented. A scented composition.
Oh. Chris said, Auckland, my home.
Oh, Chris.
Oh, awesome.
That's awesome. So I kind of just like to explore things really quickly, and then let's see where it takes us. I am going to...
So you're
This
using the
one's-
CC libraries.
Yeah, so libraries are great, especially if you work between the different programs. I work in and out of all three kind of every day at one time, so
It's all connected.
yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Do you share your library with your teammate?
I do. So I work at an agency, and libraries are really great for working on things together as a team, especially when you're defining style guides. So defining the color palette, defining the types of fonts you're going to be using, and putting all your images in one place. That works exceptionally well. So really great, and you can kind of edit it, and it would like verbally edit. So which is
Do you
awesome.
guys use Creative Cloud libraries still in a chat? Yeah, it's a great way to share your asset with the team. So once you update all the information in the library, it automatically updates to the different everyone's library, right?
Yeah.
It's all connected.
This is a big file. So yeah, I always set up guides. Grids are awesome. They're pretty much your best friend. I mean, obviously people break the grid, and that creates really interesting things too. But guides are always a nice place to start, especially if you are trying to figure out what to do. It's really nice to have a structure or a base skeleton, if you will.
And then Vivian said, how do you think someone's environment influences their graphic design? Have you noticed any connection between New Zealand and the work the work you create?
I think it influences a lot.
Yeah, I think so.
Especially if you travel. I think every time I go overseas or experience a new culture, I get a little bit more insight into who the people are and the awesome things that make that place special. I also feel like where you come from has influenced your perspective and your general worldview about the world, I guess, your life. So there's so many people that I've met from all around the world, and I feel like they each have something special to share. Like, especially you, Shori, I feel like there's something that you have about Tokyo that you probably bring into the way you talk to
Unconsciously,
people.
I guess.
Yeah, and I think that's really special, especially when you start meeting a lot of people. It's really, really great.
So you travel a lot.
I wish I had traveled more, to be honest.
How often do you get to travel?
I at least try to travel overseas 3 times a year, at least. I hope.
3 times a year.
Got a few trips planned coming up, so
Fancy.
I'm really excited. here it is.
Like the neutral color. So pretty. So you get a lot of inspiration through your traveling.
I do. I think being in an environment where you're almost out of your comfort zone
I hear you.
challenges you
Totally.
a little bit, you know what I mean? And it's kind of nice to be a little bit uncomfortable sometimes, especially when you're creative, because I think that's where, when you get a little bit too comfortable, your work may be too comfortable, if that makes sense. So it's nice to kind of challenge yourself and like look for different perspectives and talk to people, understand what everyone's looking for.
Yeah, living in Tokyo, I have so much inspirational things going on around myself, but sometimes I feel like I have to get out of my country because it's so comfortable being there.
Definitely.
So when I'm craving for some kind of inspiration, I definitely travel to the place where there's no internet.
Oh, really?
Yes. I
That's
love it.
cool. So where have you been with no internet?
I mean, when I travel privately, I don't use my phone much. You know, of course,
Right.
time to time I have to check something, but usually just put my phone down and then just go with the actual map, like hand map.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I
that's
like it.
awesome.
Yeah, try not to depend on the technology at all.
That's pretty awesome.
Do you guys travel a lot in the chat? Oh, where do you travel next, Veronica?
I am going to Greece. So if
Greece.
anyone's from Greece, please let me know. Please let me know what to see. I heard that it's beautiful and I'm really excited. Virtual travel, yes. I like virtual traveling too. Just kind of watching YouTube videos of all these really amazing places is always a good idea, because sometimes you're like, wow, I really got to go to this place, and then you might end up booking a ticket by accident.
Yeah, I just went to India, and that was
awesome.
amazing. That was whole another world.
That's pretty
A person
cool.
like me who are so used to, Tokyo, and all of a sudden I was in Delhi, overpopulated, a lot of energy, and good food. Had a lot of good curry. Went to Ganges River. Have you heard of it?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, that place was amazing. Somehow it was so loud, but at the same time it was so quiet.
Oh, really?
It was interesting. Yeah, very spiritual place. No more around Europe. Yeah, cheaper from
Oh my gosh, my
What happened?
co-host.
your what? Coworker?
Ollie. Oh my God. Yeah, I see you, coworkers. I see you.
Hi, Ollie.
Ollie said he went to Mykonos, which I heard is beautiful too.
Oh, okay, cool. His postcard. Is that he or her? I mean, she.
Oh, Ollie doesn't. I don't.
Oh, okay.
I just said Ollie said he went to Greece, which is awesome.
Mykonos. Okay. Beautiful Greek island. Yeah. Yeah, he used the picture of Mykonos for the postcard submission.
That's awesome.
Excited to check that out.
Yeah, I want to see some postcards.
Yeah, let's check it out. Let's see. Wonder if anybody posted. There we you go. Look at that.
That's cool.
henrybeastwood.com. Typeface. Wow. It's moving around. Typeface is moving around. Great job, Henry. You want to give him some feedback?
Wow, I think he used the Illustrator duplicate and move tool, right?
Is Henry still here? Beastwood.
I would say there's some really interesting color going on, especially with the gradients. The only thing that stands out to me is the E kind of gets a little bit lost because I think this one, that's the only letter that has no outline around it.
Right.
So maybe explore adding the outline just so it doesn't feel like it's getting lost with the rest of the colors.
Readability.
Yeah, but there's nice motion. Like,
Yeah.
makes it feel like I'm like
Typeface. Nice. Yeah, this is the back of the card.
Cool.
I like the color. Okay, let's see. Oop. Oh, it's not loading. Let me try again. Do you juggle freelance work while employed at an agency?
It really depends on my availability because there is sometimes the work hours get quite intense, obviously. But yeah, every time I do get a freelance client that I really, really believe in, I kind of try to make time to do that because I think it's really nice kind of not designing for, like, I guess, like when you're at an agency, the types of clients are kind of not the same, but in this kind of same industry. So it's nice to branch out a little bit. So that's kind of why I enjoy freelance too. But it gets difficult, especially once there's a lot of time involved in all your projects. So yeah, it's learning how to find that balance and saying yes to the right ones and no to the ones that,
Yeah, how do you decide when to say yes and when to say no? Is it because of your instinct,
typically,
or?
yeah, for sure. Usually a lot of it is dependent on time. So whether I have time to do it is pretty much a large thing too. But if I believe in the brand, if I believe in the product, if I believe in the people, I think that's really important is once you get to a point where you can start taking on clients on a yes-no basis. I know some people still try to get what they want because that's their full-time job, you know, and it's hard to be a freelancer because I've done that too. It's you gotta just take whatever comes and make the most of it. But once you do have a full-time job, a lot of your time is occupied at your work. So when you find the right freelance client for something you believe in, something you're passionate about, even the people who are running it, if you really believe in them, yeah, I'd say go for it. And because that's where you're going to do your best work and work that you can put in your portfolio. So that's always really, really good. Good
What
thing
is
to
your
do.
ideal workload? 40 hours a week? 50, 60?
That really depends on the types of project I'm working on. I work in the e-commerce space a lot, so typically a project could last some time in terms of right from the start to right at the end where you're starting to QA everything. But yeah, it could range from I've done 80 hours. It's
80 hours.
not something to be
80 hours
too
a
proud
week.
of. But yeah, typically it's around like 45 hours, I would say. Yeah.
But when you start to design, you kind of forget about the time, right?
Absolutely. So that may be a good thing or a bad thing. Really depends on. Yeah, it really depends.
Hi, Omar. So what are you working on now?
I'm just kind of playing around with a few different kind of poster concepts here. So I'm probably going to transition to kind of selecting one and then moving forward with.
So she has 4 artboards.
I've got 3. This one is still a work in progress. I haven't really decided,
3.
but we're gonna play around with maybe 1 or 2 more and then move forward.
Oh, hello from Nepal. Okay, go ahead and get the matcha tea, please. Can I have one too?
Oh my gosh, I love matcha tea.
Yeah, you said we're in love with matcha tea here. A lot of vitamins. I think that's one of the reasons why Japanese live really long. No way! Hello. I don't know what time it is over there.
In Japan? Oops.
No, Norway?
Oh, Norway.
Yes, make sure to submit your postcard contest submission with the hashtag Adobe Live. You can win free 1 year of Creative Cloud and an Adobe stock credit. Ooh, like that. What a nice photo.
So there's some really nice shadow plays going on here, so it kind of goes well with the peach that we have. Whereas so used to having things on my big screens, things in like different areas.
Mm. 9 p.m. there. Oh, okay. Not bad at all. Okay. What if I don't have a website for my postcard? If you don't have the website, that's fine too. Okay, so here we are working on a postcard for this brand called Loft. So we're coming up with a brand identity for this brand called Loft, and then it's a boutique hotel for hipsters.
For hipsters. It's for creatives.
Yes, for creatives. Yes. Let me rephrase. For
the modern creative.
Modern creatives.
Yeah.
How much safe space do you like to give on a poster?
In terms of from the border, I think that's maybe what you're asking, but I like space a lot. As you can see, I like to play with positive and negative space. There are some times I like to bleed things off just to give it a little bit more like visual rhythm. But making sure if you do have a full width or a full image like this, especially if it takes up like almost the entire page, giving it enough breathing room between elements, or if they overlap, then making sure that's more deliberate, just so it doesn't feel like it's all cramped and like squashed against each other.
Yeah,
so
love that one.
See how this second like,
can't keep my eyes off from that.
Let's see what else I can maybe do something here. Sorry, moving back into Photoshop because I think I'm gonna do something with this. I don't know if this is gonna work, but let's try.
So we're moving back to Photoshop now?
Yes. While that renders, because it's rendering, I will figure something out here really fast.
Thank you, Guy. Let's go on a trip. Interesting. Parenthesis means. Let's go on a parenthesis. Let's go on a trip in French.
I know, right?
I had no idea. Boom.
I actually
You
planned
made
it all. I planned it all.
She planned it all. All in
Yeah.
French.
I'm going to. It's easier to do this.
How do you decide whether or not you need to be working in Photoshop or Illustrator?
Usually, if I'm working in Vector,
So Illustrator?
Illustrator for sure, definitely. I kind of like to do all like the logo marks and illustrations in Illustrator, which is a great name for that. And then I kind of do all of my Photoshop work in regards to I do like web design in Photoshop, and then I've been playing around with the new Adobe XD too.
Oh, cool.
Kind of fun.
How do you like it?
I like it. I mean, I have never used any of the other like Sketch or anything like that, so I like it. I mean, there's some great functions, especially for a web designer, on there, so you can kind of easily
grid?
repeat. Yeah,
Yes.
that's pretty awesome.
Does anybody use XD in the chat?
So yeah, I mean, that's my workflow. I don't really use Illustrator besides from creating vector work, because I feel like Photoshop has better capabilities in terms of blending modes and like raster effects for that. That's my personal preference. I grew up using Photoshop, and I feel like I open that up, kind of default, and then InDesign for editorial and layouts. So.
Right. Do you always work in RGB or CMYK?
I am using RGB for now because I don't think we're going to print, but
We might.
we might print.
We
So
might.
then I'll have
Right.
to use equivalent CMYK colors. But yeah, I usually use RGB for everything digital because, as you know, RGB is all digital based. And then I use CMYK for anything print. And I think using Pantone or spot colors too is also really good if you're trying to do something in the print field too.
Are you going to convert all the colors only when you do the PDF export?
You can sometimes like to have a little bit more control, like picking, kind of finding the right CMYK color for it, because sometimes the RGB is not where I want it to be, but that's another way to kind of make your workflow a little bit quicker.
Oh, people are loving XD here. Awesome. People are asking, any idea when XD will be out of beta? Michael?
People?
Yes. Any idea when XD will be out of beta?
Oh yeah, I know exactly when.
He knows exactly when. He's not gonna tell you.
Nothing
This
more.
year.
This year. Hope so. Sauron? What's Sauron? Looks like the eye of Sauron in Lord of the Rings. Is he talking about oh
Oh, where?
Yeah.
Sauron?
It's the monster, the evil.
Ah, monster. Nightbot is awake now.
We can give away a credit card.
Oh, what are we gonna do here? So we're gonna do. Is it contest? No. Is it like quiz?
You need to ask a question. They will have to answer in the chat.
Okay. What kind of question should we throw right there in the chat? Let's see. What do we talk about here?
Who's been listening?
So, okay, for Veronica's logo that she created for the boutique hotel called Loft, what kind of typeface she used to? I mean, of course, she, tweaked a little bit. But that would be the question. Okay. Chat answer. I mean, first one? First
No.
comes? First serve? Okay.
No,
Nightbot.
Nightbot will pick someone
Okay.
who answered correctly.
Okay. Answer right now. Okay. That's the question. Which typeface she used to create the logo? Oh, there we go.
Is it spelled like this?
Close enough, but there we go.
Okay.
Oh, that was close. Yes, answer is Badoni. Who spelled right first? Nightbot is gonna pick.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's completely unfair. There's no-
So Nightbot is gonna pick randomly or the first one?
Randomly, someone who said Bodoni.
Okay, for the first time.
No.
Whoever.
Whoever.
Okay.
Say
Wow.
Bodoni.
You
Whoever's
never
the
know.
lucky day. If it's your lucky day.
That's how it works here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Nightbot
Okay, I'm
has
doing
no-
this first time, so.
Nightbot has no feeling. Yeah.
Okay, Nightbot has no feeling. Very cold. Oh, thank you, Arnie. Yeah, people are loving XD. It's great. But only XD.
Okay, Nightbot will choose someone, and then I will ask this person to share in the chat their Twitter handle, so
Twitter
I can
handle?
contact. Yeah.
Okay, Nightbot is about to pick someone who said Badoni
Ah.
in the chat. Are you guys ready for this?
Yeah. Okay. The winner is
The winner is
Manuel Casina.
Manuel Casina.
Yay!
Woo.
That's awesome.
You're the lucky guy. So share your Twitter account, Twitter handle.
Congrats, Manuel.
Okay, there we go.
Manuel.
Congrats. Oh, he wins the pizza too.
Aw. So I'm going to move on. I did a
Oh.
few different kind of layouts for this. If I have some time at the end, I'll kind of just put them into this giant artboard we have going on so we can see how our brand is rolling out. I have started to download some things from Adobe stock.
Oh,
I think I'm going to,
look at that.
when you kind of travel, you get these little
Samples.
yeah, right.
Samples,
For
right.
like shampoo and conditioner and lotion. So I think I'm just gonna create just a very timeless thing, kind of going along the rest of our brand with some of these cosmetic tubes. The great thing about it is it's already like a AI.
AI
file.
right.
It's not. Yeah, it's not information architecture. It's Adobe Illustrator. So, so it really it's great because that way you can kind of just get all the elements you want and start working with that already. Really depends on you whether you want to keep it in the vector or whether you want it to start to bring it into Photoshop. I've also downloaded I think I'm going to download one of.
Yeah, it would be nice to show them the process too.
one of these. I think this
Ooh.
is kind of timed out. I might just open it up. So this is more of a, this is a JPEG, so it is a real photo. I'm going to decide whether I want something that feels like a mock-up or something that feels like it could be real. So let's see. I'm going to download both. So hopefully one of them works out. I might open up this JPEG first. And it looks like this. Yeah.
You open up in Photoshop, right?
Yeah, because it's a JPEG, I'm going to
Right.
work with it in Photoshop. Start a new artboard. Maybe bring this into here. And so, oh, went to the other artboard. So typically with JPEGs, I want to make sure that I create a smart object out of it. And so what this does is it retains all of like the high fidelity portions of the image. So if I need to expand it or make it smaller, it still kind of retains that quality without it going pixelated or blurry.
Right.
Yeah. So if I do need to kind of do things where it requires me to flatten it, then I will always duplicate this. So this is my like OG layer. I'm just going to call it OG layer. So anything happens, I can always revert back to this, and I haven't lost this. Cool. So what I'm going to do is duplicate this, and then I'm going to work on. I'm going to.
You're gonna delete those.
Yeah. So I'm going to make this all black and white first, because I don't know about the weird peachy color going on. And then I'm gonna clip about
Wow. You really do a good job using mouse. I can't do that with mouse.
you get used to it after a while, and then your finger starts cramping, which is not good, but probably a pen would be better. But
Peachy color is coming in, almost. Hello from Dubai. Hi there. Just curious, why not use the quick selection?
I only use that when I know I've got a clear background.
Right.
Because
Not too much contrast here.
yeah, there's this weird kind of like marbly texture going on for both the package as well as the background, and so I know I'm not going to get a really clean kind of marquee around it. And I actually find it to be simpler or much easier to just pen tool around and get what I want. So yeah, if it's like an isolated product, like a clean background, then that's one thing.
Have you noticed your Kiwi accent? Kiwi accent disappearing slightly since moving to
Dominic,
California.
you know what's going on right now. It's unfortunate because I work with
You want to
some-
keep it?
yeah, I do want to keep it. I work with some great people every day, and all are starting to bring their Cali vibes to me, which is awesome. But I do find myself speaking with some American R's.
Somebody said they would love to hear Veronica's favorite
Oh yeah,
Ours.
favorite with the.
Favorite. What's the difference? I don't really quite understand the difference between New Zealand English and American English. I mean, when you say American English, so many dialogues here too.
Oh, the Kiwi accent versus the
Kiwi.
American accent. So New Zealand was part of the like British colony. So we
Right.
some people think I'm from London, and
Oh, okay.
I'm not from London. Some people think I do sound Australian too. So that's also very similar. But I think there's more not so like harsh tones to the Kiwi accent. Not that the Australian accent is bad, because it's not. There's probably Kiwis in here. I mean, Australians watching too. So
Hello, Jiggy, from Canada. What's the haka dance? You know what that is?
yes. So if you guys have ever watched a game of rugby,
You know haka?
can you do it, Michael?
Maybe he's gonna show us.
Show the
Haka
viewers.
dance.
I will find it on stock and I will display.
Right.
It's before. I mean, today you can see it when New Zealand plays rugby.
Mm-hmm.
They do the dance to impress the other team. It's very
Ah.
impressive.
Or to scare them, which either one works best.
Okay, New Zealand haka dance is coming up.
It's coming. It's coming. Is it H-A-K?
HAK.
K?
Okay. Hello from Paris. Bonjour. Italy. Philippines. Michael, do the haka. That don't look real. So for those of you, well, we're looking for the haka dance photo. This week we're throwing a contest, postcard design contest. So when you go to the adobelive.com, there is a tab on your bottom right, I think. And then you can download a template from there. It's an Illustrator file. And you can create your own custom postcard and then submit through your Twitter account with the hashtag of Adobe Live. And then you have a chance to win 1 year of Creative Cloud subscription and an Adobe Stock credit. Adobe Stock credit. Also on Creative Cloud YouTube channel, we have almost 200,000 subscribers. Live streaming team has been doing a really good job. And if we can reach to 200,000 this week, within 3 days until Thursday, there's another prize we're going to give away, which is Michael is going to give away, which is ticket to Adobe Max. It's gonna be happening in Las Vegas, so
That's awesome.
yeah, I'll be there. They'll be there. Are you gonna be there?
Yeah, I mean, I would love
Yeah.
to. Vegas.
Yeah,
I mean,
Vegas. Why not?
you can never turn down going to Vegas.
Dylan said if I leave the song full screen at work, looks like I'm working. And Ahmed asked, how much time does it take to create a brand from scratch from your experience?
Ooh,
Depends.
yeah, that's a good question. I guess it really depends on what the timeline is, how crazy and intricate the logo is. I guess like how fast you work. So yeah, I mean,
How many?
there's a lot of variables that
Yeah.
go
How
into
many
that.
rounds do you do with the clients?
I would do one kind of initial concept. So, I mean, initial concept round. So you would maybe present 2 or 3 different options, or maybe 4. And then they pick one, and then you refine that. So that's the second round. And then the third round would be kind of the final round.
Right. So the first, for the first round, do you usually have like specific one you want them to pick, or is there?
Yeah, usually I have a recommendation.
Right.
I think clients appreciate when you know what to suggest because they kind of trust your opinion. Obviously,
Right.
they hired you in the first place.
But at the same time, they want the options, right?
Exactly, yeah. So sometimes it just opens their eyes to
Right.
like know what can be possible. And so I usually do a few options, and then I usually have like a recommendation for it too.
You tell them straightforward.
Right. Like I'm like, you know, this is the one I suggest. I do like things like this where I show them how the logo or identity can be applied in multiple ways. And then thinking about how to present the work is also really important to help sell in the idea or just sell in a concept in the first place. I know some people go back and forth still in that initial concept round, which gets kind of intimidating too and like tough because no one can really make decisions.
Right.
But just understanding how to best communicate your work is really, really important in this like day and age, I guess. Talking about your ideas, sharing them, understanding strategy. And then typically after 3 rounds, you should get to the final point after then. So I don't know, let me know if you guys have any other processes with clients.
Let us know, chat. Yeah, usually three rounds. I mean, whoever I talk to, that around 3 rounds, and then they get to final. So we have about 25 minutes left.
Yeah.
Some Espanol is going on.
How many ounces in a... I'm going to say 12 ounces. I don't even use ounces. So typically you'd probably do this in Illustrator, but because I'm reading Photoshop and these aren't the labels on the die line, just for the purposes of this exercise, I'm kind of laying it all out in Photoshop.
You said 12 ounces?
I don't know. Anyone has like a recommendation
idea?
for?
We don't know how much is 12 ounces.
It's like a. I know a coffee cup is like 8 ounces. It's small, right? This
Okay.
is bad.
What's that?
1 cup is 8 ounces.
Okay, 8. So
Okay. So yeah, this is probably 8. I mean, if it's travel sized, it's not good with
Size I think is 3 ounces.
3 ounces. There you go.
thank you, Lee.
Thanks.
There we go.
Jonathan is asking if you read Spanish.
No, I wish I did. I wish I could speak Spanish.
Taco Boy is asking everyone, are you guys creator, professionals, students? Professionals. Okay, 12 ounces is 350 millimeter.
Thank you.
Milliliter. Graphic design student, professional filmmaker. Oh. Professional student. Freelancer, semi-pro. Thank you, Mr. Curious. One else says equals to 29.57 milliliter. Okay. To be exact. Artist, freelance, okay. From Panama. Is this your first time being here, chat? Or you've been here many times already? Creative services. Oh, it's coming together.
Yeah, so this package, I guess if they all sit in a line, we could probably play with some of the
Color?
graphics, so that
I
way
see.
we get a little bit of overlap. I know this is
Some pattern on the
perfect.
bottle.
Yeah, might need to make it lighter instead of darker, so you can actually see a little bit more.
Some people thought you were Colombian or something.
Oh.
Because of her name. I mean, because of your name.
Yeah, my last name.
Yeah, that's what I
It's
thought actually.
Portuguese.
It's Portuguese.
Yeah, but I've never been to Portugal, so I think one day I'd love to explore.
Oh, third time.
Let's see, maybe lighter would work better.
First stream.
Oh.
Hi, Nina. Oh, thank you. Try not to miss once or twice. Mr. Curious said, I've been in New Zealand. It's been great experience also on Cook Island.
Oh, awesome.
Cook Islands. Great to
Islands
get
are
in touch with
beautiful.
New Zealand culture. And Maori.
Yes.
What is that, Maori?
Maori.
Maori?
People are going to be so mad. I'm not saying that right, but it's the native language of, or yeah, indigenous language of New Zealand. So, yeah, it's like a, I don't know how to describe it, but I know a few words, not many. The national anthem, which is important to know. And,
Are we doing motion graphics sometime soon?
Not soon, but yeah, in the coming
Yes.
month.
Coming months.
pop this in here just so I can lay it on these mock-ups.
Mm-hmm. Literally, we are in the same world. Yes. Yes, Jonathan. We are.
Oh, so I've got the spinning beach ball of death.
Okay.
That's always good.
All right.
Okay.
Whew. Okay. Good.
Oh. So let's pull one in. Oh, wrong outboard.
So she's gonna.
I'm gonna apply it just so
Yes.
we get
Yeah.
to see the
Layout.
entire brand.
In the
Tomorrow I'll probably be working, adding a few more elements, and then you can kind of see everything all together. Which,
This is not final layout. That's why she's in Photoshop.
yeah. I should probably make this same dimensions.
So people are saying that you work super fast. They want to see your keyboard
Oh, my hotkeys.
workflow, I guess. We can't really tell. I mean, it's. Want to try? Oh, sorry. Did I press something?
It's okay.
You guys see my hands? This is
Very
crazy. You always got your hands like in this area, so usually saving all the time.
Right.
Literally save like every 3
Yep.
seconds just to make sure things like aren't
Command S. Command S.
exactly. But once you grab it, then you gotta make sure that everything scales. So these two keys hold everything in the same aspect ratio, which is important. Yep. So there's so many people.
All right, that's enough.
Can you click once? Top. Yeah. Thank you. That's good.
So I work a lot with smart objects in Photoshop. That way you can kind of control things and they don't get too bogged down in terms of like having so many layers and so many groups. So it's really nice to do convert some of these like external elements like the posters that we have here into smart objects. That way I can double click into it and I get the actual file itself, and then I can open up a poster that I want to bring into here, make this a smart object again, and then I can resize it in here. That way, then I'm gonna trim this to fit. Oh, there's my
People are in love with your nail polish.
Thanks. So here I have like a lighting file or a lighting layer. This just kind of adds a little bit of like, where is this one?
Twist to it.
Okay, so there's like a little bit of shadow there. It's like super
Subtle.
subtle,
Yeah.
but it kind of just adds a little bit of realness to it. So it updated here, so I can delete this one. And then I think I need to.
Did it just skew?
Yeah, it's skewed a little bit. All of these did because I trimmed it. So what I'm gonna do is take this out. So yeah, when you change your aspect ratio in your smart layers, it does like a skew to it, which sometimes is kind of strange. But what you can do is
David said, "Welcome back, Veronica."
Oh, David was here
He just
yesterday.
came back. Yeah.
Awesome.
So we're working on a poster design today with the logo she created.
Okay, cool. So I've got one here, and then I'm gonna bring so many little dialogues open. Bring this one here. Make sure this is a small object. I'm not concerned with it being perfect there. I applied a little bit of a drop shadow around this too, so it feels like there's some little bit of layering going on. And I'm gonna do the same thing for this.
We have postcard submission too. Check that out too. Let's check out the postcard submission. Go. Oh, look at that. Reminds me of Paul Rand logo.
Yeah.
Deborah Garber design. You want to give her feedback?
It does remind me of Paul Rand.
Yeah.
These colorful
Pretty,
logos.
yeah.
What's in the
Background.
background? Oh no, that's your keyboard.
Right, that's my keyboard.
Yeah, it's very colorful in the back. It's cool.
Many eyes.
I like the teal and the orange palette. It works
Mhm.
well. It's vibrant, but not too over the top. Just
Complementary color. Close to. Okay, let's see. We'll check the other one too. Oop, where did it go? Ooh. What about this one? Oh, from Africa. Behance.net. Josh Mugahi? Oh, is that crayon he used? Look at that.
Oh wow. Did you hand do that?
Yeah, it looks like hand drawing.
It's nice when you kind of do things by hand and then
Make it digital.
yeah, exactly. I think there's some really cool element of bringing like the physical with the digital and then printing it again becomes physical. I think that's kind of interesting.
And then back is
So
here.
he's from Africa? That's awesome.
Zambia?
Zimbabwe?
Zimbabwe. Oh, Zimbabwe. Oh, wow. Cool. Yeah, African flavor to it. Oh, my computer is doing something weird. Let's see. Oh, this is pretty too. Vector.
That's cool.
Oh, very precise. Nice job. Sketches. Oh. Okay, go back to you. Yeah, something is acting weird on my computer. It's okay. She's jet lagged too.
Oh man.
16 hours difference, so it's like completely
That, yeah,
Morning.
that's crazy.
2 a.m., 3 a.m.
I'm just gonna blend these two.
So we have about 10 minutes left.
Awesome. So what I'm doing now is kind of, it's just nice to see like the brand system kind of working all together. And so I typically like to put everything, see if it feels consistent, and make sure it like aligns with what we talked about in the brief. Again, I always go back to this because I think it's really important to make sure that we're hitting all of our key goals of the brief, and we really want to make sure that when you guys are working on client projects that you guys are doing the same thing too. So making sure that everything that you do feels consistent, feels right, feels like it belongs, then you'll be solid for presenting to your client. If you want to
So your logo kind of moves around.
it does. And tomorrow I think I'm going to explore an editorial piece, so you got to come back and tune in. And if I have some time, I would love to show you. Yeah. Listen to it. And then if I have time, I would love to show how you can even start thinking about translating that into the web, like digital. So I know the focus of this is graphic design, but there's so many key fundamental elements that you can actually take from print design, from your grid systems, and apply that to your web design. So some cool tips.
Sounds good.
Guys better come back tomorrow. We'll be covering all that.
Yeah, starting from 11 a.m. tomorrow.
How was your first Adobe Live?
Oh, I feel relaxed now.
Good.
I was a bit nervous at the,
These guys are
at
great.
first. Yes, thank you for being nice
You guys
to
are awesome.
my Japanese accent. I'm on community team now, so I put a lot of events together, and then so I don't get to do live streaming like Michael and Rufus does. But I happen to be here while they're doing the live streaming in San Francisco, so here I am. Oh, thank you, young ladies, for this amazing session.
There's a lot of girl power this week.
Yes, this week.
Which is awesome. I think that is pretty special. Last one.
Yeah, it's so pretty.
Just giving a variety or some wide range. We may even play around with recycling some of these ideas for an editorial piece tomorrow.
Yes, definitely use the library. It's very convenient. Comes in handy. God, yeah. He said, I really
Do
need
you
to
name
learn.
your layers when not streaming? Of course I do, Adam. I am guilty. Don't get me wrong. I feel like sometimes I get too in the moment. I gotta kind of design really quick. But it's really nice to do it because I don't know if you guys use this auto select feature, but sometimes I'm like zooming in really close to make sure that like I'm getting the right one, and it gets a little hairy. So naming layers is always really important.
Yes.
Otherwise, yeah,
organized.
you get this kind of thing going on where you have like rectangle copy 200. Yeah, so I've gone up to crazy numbers. I'm like, I don't even know where these numbers came from. So you guys probably experienced
How
that
many
too.
layers?
One time I had like something, it was ridiculous. I think this is just copying it and adding an appendix. So it's not really 5,221.
Yeah,
So yeah, so what I've done here is we've kind of established our
let's do the
identity.
recap.
So we have an identity system mood board. This isn't like something you would probably present to the client because it's kind of a little bit all over the place. But when you create your brand guidelines, which we probably, if we had one more day, we probably could have gone into something like that, or maybe we can do it tomorrow. We'll see. But
Let's see.
you would probably want to make sure that you have a page where you show the logos in different contexts. So what it would look like on top of image, and then you would specify a contrast ratio. And if you probably want to put white text on top of a white image or a white background. So you would say, in this case, you would use this blue color, and then just showing how we've created this dynamic system. going to Illustrator, we made sure our logo was vector and it had all of the outlines already. So when we copy and paste it, it's in this really awesome smart object. So everything's going to retain its integrity. We're just experimenting with how this can become more of a visual piece, and applied this kind of distort, or this, what is this called? Displace smart filter on top of it. I might explore more of this stuff in our editorial piece. I kept it quite clean for these layouts here, just to see what that looks like, and we'll kind of explore what that looks like tomorrow. I just explored some lockups, so this is a good test to show what types of font you'll be using in terms of headlines and body copy,
Good contrast.
photography, layering, color palette. And then we moved into maybe thinking about some packaging design. So I feel like this maybe is a little light. We can play around with that later tomorrow. But so thinking about some of the small amenity things that a guest may receive when they stay at one of these places. And then also going into some applications. So poster design, we just did 4 different ones, showcasing like the versatility of our logo, as well as establishing a kind of style or an aesthetic for what we're going for.
Is there any favorite?
In terms of these, or
Okay. Within 4.
I like this. I think there's some interesting play here. There's some cool overlapping, and then
Yeah, I like the rhythm.
there's
Black
some.
gold rhythm.
I
to
brought
it.
in some of the grid elements here to showcase that this is kind of like referencing editorial and going back to those kind of creative roots that people have when they stay at this hotel.
Diana asked, what type of grid is good for the posters?
I am using a 12-column grid just because, as I mentioned before, it has a lot of flexibility in terms of I can use 6 and 6, I can use 4, 4, 4, I can use 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 6 times, or I can use 12. So there's a lot of flexibility in that sense, and I feel like going even numbers makes sure like you can have different layout themes and styles going on. So to me, I think that's quite flexible for any application. I use 12 on websites too, even 24. So divisions of that. And yeah, tomorrow we're going to be doing kind of more of this stuff and seeing how we can even bring that into the web space. So I'm really excited if we have a little bit of time at the end. But I hope you guys enjoyed it.
Oh, love the variety of things. Beautiful.
How many minutes do we have? 3 minutes?
2.
2 minutes.
2
Okay,
minutes.
2 more minutes. Time is almost up, and Nina Chan is coming up next, so stay tuned. Okay, just wondering what font
What font
you
I'm
will
using?
use. Yes.
So,
That was a
Jeffrey,
question.
yes, I am using for the logo. We did some crowdsourcing. I guess the audience kind of helped me pick out a really elegant, timeless font, which is Bodoni. And then for some of the text lockups, we're using Canella. And for the body copy, we're doing something a little bit more simple and a little bit more neutral, which is Salic. I'm going to say Salic.
Did we say it right?
I hope so.
Okay.
Salic. Yeah. You guys have any more questions? But otherwise, would love to see you guys tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow, 11 a.m. again, same time. Thank you for joining Adobe Live today. And thank you, Veronica, for
Thank you.
sharing.
Thank you.
Inspiring.
This is her
Creative
first,
process.
so
Yes.
we gotta give her a little clap.
Thank you.
All right.
I made
She
it.
did awesome.
Made it through. All right, thank you, everyone.
See you tomorrow. Bye. Bye.